morning, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name is Katie O. This is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another energy peephole for today, the 19th of November, 2021. Today we have our full moon lunar eclipse peaking at 15:57 Bangkok time. There are 6 hours and 2 minutes of eclipse energy where the Earth is right between the sun and the moon. And then just after this energy subsides, just after the eclipse is over, at 21:33 Bangkok time, we will have the moon transit to the sign of Gemini. Now, it's really cheesy, I know, but as I was literally just kind of jotting down that very first bit in my notes, all I could hear was total eclipse of the heart. And I know, so word association. But there was one particular line that stood out to me. It says, "Once upon a time there was light in my life. Now there's only love in the dark." Yeah. It brought me to a passage from the Arcana of Astrology, which is the book I use for astrology stuff sometimes. And it says that truths that we may not be ready to see are coming to light. And they refer to a lunar eclipse as the illuminator. They talk about how that even though it darkens the moon, because there's something between the moon and the sun for the reflection, which obstructs the reflection of light, it's still called the illuminator and is basically a regular full moon on steroids. It's big time full moon release energy, big time, just big time. And with it being in the sign of Taurus, it has to do with stubbornness. Yeah, it can have to do with the things that we're stubborn about. So things that we might not be ready to hear. It can be with regards to stable structures, the way that we hold ourselves up, the way that we nurture, the way things like that. So it's all, everything is, there are aspects of our Venusian energy that we are releasing. And back to that line, once upon a time there was light in my life and now there's only love in the dark. Because I'm feeling that, especially with the illuminator being kind of an oxymoron. This is a little bit of an oxymoron too, because we're saying that once upon a time I had light in my life, but I'm not seeing light as in light, I'm seeing light as in like light energy. It's like for a long time, maybe you kind of went with whatever was and you weren't quite aware of the greater implications of things. And it worked kind of all right. Yeah. But now there's only love in the dark, which tells me that we know that the true language of love doesn't come from being avoidant and not dealing with our problems and pretending like everything's all right and going, oh, well, this is what's expected of me, so I'm just going to go with it. No, the only love, the only time that we find the universal language of love is through the shadows, is through the darker parts of ourselves. Through our feminine energy, we are master creators. And the feminine energy is unable to birth something new unless it puts it into an incubation dark space to let it grow. Yeah, just like a pregnancy, for example. So we may not be ready for whatever eclipse energy is coming, and it's going to be big. It's going to be big. Some of you guys are going to be absolutely exhausted. I am so tired. I'm not going to lie. I almost didn't make this video today because I was like, maybe I'll just nap for 6 hours instead. But I know that that's a bad idea. But you guys, if you experience extreme fatigue, if you're having big headaches, if you're having joint and muscle pain, if you've got old injuries that are bothering you, some of you guys are having like throat chakra issues, so like ear, nose, and throat, ear infections, or ringing in your ears, sinus congestion, sore throats, or strep throat even, I'm hearing. There's very big energies, and it's affecting our physical body. So if you do feel very tired, don't worry. It's just this full moon energy is very, 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 very big and intense. And especially with it being in Taurus, I feel like we are still trying to be the bull with its hooves in the mud, not moving, even though there's this immovable force, or this like unshakable force trying to get this bull to move. We're expending a lot of energy holding our energy, holding ourselves. For some of you, you're expending a lot of energy resisting these things that are supposed to be coming to light, and for others of you, you're spending a lot of energy trying to hold true to your energy and not let external forces seep in and tear you off of your good track. Okay, so we got 6 aspects in the astrology that I'd like to discuss with you, and the first one is very, very much relating to these truths that we may not be ready to hear coming to light. We have the moon in a sextile with Neptune, and we also have the moon in opposition with Mercury. So I believe these two energies kind of play into this like truths that you might not be ready to hear, right? So Neptune is in retrograde in the sign of Pisces, often to do with about intuition, about dreams, about illusions. Though Neptunian energy can be very, very, very like the sirens, you know. Like I used to describe Neptune as Phoebe Buffet. Yeah, that it was like, oh my god, wow, let's go like play guitar and then like smell some flowers and then we'll like go down to the river and like, oh my god, let's get a donut and like, you know what I mean? So it can be very avoidant, it can be very aloof, it can be very well, not wanting to see the reality of things. Yeah, it's a Vaseline covered window. You can see the shapes through the window, but you can't see any details. So we may not be ready, but we do know that with this moon in Taurus sextiling Neptune, that it will help clear us illusions, and that will be healing. Yeah, it might alleviate some of the stubbornness of Taurus energy, right? So if some of you guys are on that stubborn side of things, trying to resist some sort of force that's been pushing you for ages, this sextile with Neptune might, yeah, you might not be ready to hear those, but it might help you move away from some of that stubborn energy. They are truths that need to be told, and whether you're ready or not, you've got to hear them because it's in the best interest of your growth and expansion and healing to know these things. So, and which corroborated by the moon opposition with Mercury. So communication is more than just talking, I'm hearing. It's not just having a conversation with someone. There is all kinds of different ways to harness Mercurian energy, and Mercury does govern way more than just the way we speak. It governs our health. So yes, if you're tired, if you've got these health issues, if you're experiencing all of that stuff, tooth pain too, it's more than just talking, all right? And all styles are acceptable as long as there is energy exchange going on, okay? We need to get this Taurus out of this Taurus energy out of its firmness and into its nurturing femininity, so that we can access more abundant energies for ourselves. Yeah. So the moon is also squaring Jupiter. So the Taurian stubbornness may have us resisting expansion and growth, or even seeing this energy of expansion and growth as a major challenge when it's really a gift. Okay, Jupiter is kind of like that uncle that comes into town every so often and takes us go-karting and skydiving and brings us to the boxing match or the hockey game or whatever. It's like super cool. It's good energy that is very explosive. It can be a little fickle sometimes or short-lived, but the thing is that it's like that uncle comes to town with the intention to take you out and to make you have fun, right? So it is a gift to you, even though you're going to be exhausted at the end of the day because you're scared shitless from riding roller coasters all day, whatever it may be. It may be seen as a challenge right now, but it's all our perception. We have to see where we are on the side of Taurus, and if we are tapping into this beautiful, feminine, nurturing Empress energy, then we're realizing that it is a gift, but it's still we know that it's going to be challenging. And others of you are still not looking at this gift or challenge at all. You're just resisting it in general. You're putting with the moon in Taurus squaring Jupiter, it's like you're putting a box over Jupiter and going, no, quiet, stop. And I don't think your subconscious really likes that, to be honest with you, because it's another way of resisting the things that are meant for you, that you're trying to clear that energy. Yeah, you've been doing it your whole life, and they're trying to clear that energy, and this is like, it's not working anymore. All right. The moon is trining also Pluto, and what I'm hearing first of all is Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Capricorn is responsible for this transformative energy, which is taking this devil vibe, these addictions, these crutches, these old masks, these false senses of self, and they're transmuting it into giving us a backbone. They're using Pluto in Capricorn is using this vibe to take the things that once harmed us, learn the lessons, and integrate the lessons so that we know how to move forward more stably now. So the moon in Taurus is encouraging us to use our feminine creator energy to facilitate this expansive transmutation. Okay, Pluto's here with a goal. Pluto is in Capricorn for some time. It was in retrograde and now it's not. It's sitting back in the tent, but it has every intention of influencing this transmutation of bad vibes to productive vibes. And right now with the moon in Taurus, yes, again, you have to look at which side of the Taurian energy you're in, but it is definitely encouraging you to nurture yourself, yeah, to nurture the things that give you stability and structure so that you can call in more easily and fluidly these transmutation energies. You know the devil stuff is no longer good for you. You know those old addictions, those old dependences, those old friends, those old bad ideas, whatever it is. You know that they don't work, and this energy can't just be destroyed. It has to be transformed into something else. Okay, so we have the moon is opposition with the sun, and this is the full moon energy with the earth in the middle, right? So it's the same thing that I discussed in live on the 17th when the moon transited into Taurus. So if you've not seen that, go back to Instagram and check out the live. It's entitled, what is it? Ship, Grave, Garden, Repeat. Check that out. Very interesting energy. But this is very much reminiscent of that, this opposition. And what I got was the vibe of like mom and dad are fighting and the kid is standing in the middle, like screaming at the top of its lungs to stop. So I heard that your inner child is finally being heard, maybe. Maybe finally you're not so preoccupied with just what your head and your home has to say, but you're looking at your heart now too. That's your inner child. Yeah. Heart energy. Especially with these vibes at the beginning with Neptune and Mercury. There is some communication. There is an illumination coming through this eclipse. And it might very well have to do with this heart space, this inner child, all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, Venus, last but not least, Venus is trining Uranus. And I'm hearing these slow upheavals. Slow upheavals are bringing in abundance, beauty, love, and creativity to fill the gaps of the devil energy transmutation. Okay, so like I said, this energy cannot be created or destroyed. It needs to be transmuted. Okay, you know you need a new Capricorn energy. You need a new backbone, but you can't just throw away your old one and make a new one appear. You need to make the necessary adjustments to that backbone that you have. Transform it, transmute it, take something old and make it new. But the thing is that you put so much energy into this devil vibes that when you do start transmuting it, there are gaps that need to be filled, and you're filling them with love. You're filling them with abundance. You're filling them with creativity. You're filling them with beauty. You're filling them with joy. You're filling them with drive to bring abundance into your life in every way, shape, or form. And I love that. Now, my suggestion to you is I heard find a hobby, cultivate your passion, take up a sport, join a club, find some sort of beautiful creative energy that you can help facilitate these transformations with. Get yourself into a routine. Even if it's just like every day you clean something, or you like I mentioned a friend of mine she used to do one fun thing a day, and even if it was just little, even if it was just like getting yourself a fancy coffee, one fun thing a day that made her feel good. Yeah, find yourself some sort of a routine. It'll alleviate some of the pressure of all of this energy. Help you almost like I told a friend the other day, I said, you might almost want to sleep all the way through this eclipse energy because it is really going to be big. And it's almost like, yeah, you need to find something that's going to distract you away from all of these big things, big transformations that are happening right now. You're not meant to be looking straight at them. You're just meant to be going about your business, and they kind of happen and present themselves into your 3D. Okay, so we have 23 duality. 23 breaks to a 5, which is the number of change, which, yeah, we're going through big change. Duality, self-awareness, observe, release. Beautiful, look at that. So we have a little full moon in the background with this, first of all. This girl is like a little bit, she's like hiding in the rushes, right? She's got her little birds beside her. It's almost like she was trying to hide from some sort of being found out. But the messengers always find their target. They're wherever they need to go. You have curiosity under the deck too, which is a 6. 5 to a 6 is a nice. You're expanding and growing right now. Experience, play, uncover, and ask. So they're encouraging you, yeah, be curious, right? Be curious. Try and find yourself some new game, new task, new something. Pique your curiosity. Harbor your creative energies. Be the watcher and quiet observer. Embrace and understand the duality of all things. The fairy is flanked on either side by 2 chattering birds. They're constantly whispering and never still in their conversation back and forth. They often confuse and cloud her judgment, yet she still holds them close and dear. Sometimes she finds wisdom in the counsel, if she can calm the chatter for a while and recognize where the constant stories and speculation end. In her eyes, the dark beauty of tourmaline is reflected. This stone is a powerful aid in absorbing and releasing negative energy and thoughts. Our mind weaves a merry dance to and fro in constant conversation with itself. Learn to sit back and listen without attachment. What can be learned from our unconscious dialogue and inner chatter? The dual nature of mind and egoistic thought, when observed, can be a great teacher. Shine a light there, see it, rather than be it. Okay, that's interesting because that shows me a lot about that transmutation of devil energy, like I said, with the tourmaline. Tourmaline is a stone that absorbs negative energy and transmutes it into potential. And that's what this card is calling you for. There's an amount of observance that you need to do, amount of watching that you need to do, of sitting back and letting things happen around you, and that helps you transmute this energy. Yeah, you're not necessarily meant to be running all over the damn place right now, but you do have to do a lot of work on the journey of quieting the chatter. We've been talking a lot about transmuting the ego energy, and understanding which is the voice of the ego and which is the voice of intuition. And I believe that this full moon is finally allowing us to release these chattering birds in our ears and see, as it said, where this constant speculation is ending. Seeing how maybe we were putting 2 and 2 together where there was no correlation. A theme of causality came up for me this morning in my meditation, where they said so many people see 2 things that happen at the same time and instantly think they're connected, but they might not be at all. Like it could very well be coincidence. Yeah, just because we understand that most of the time coincidences aren't coincidences and it is for a reason, it could also it could exist that it just so happens that 2 things coincide that don't really have any effect on each other or have any importance for each other. Anyway, let's see. Betray and vision. I'm hearing some of you have been holding on to some vision that you've had for a long time, but that was the chattering birds. That vision, you once saw it very clearly, but it's because you were not aligned with your center self. As you awaken your inner child and get more in tune with your head, your heart, and your home, you're realizing how much of a betrayal it was to cling to that vision, and how much that vision was an illusion, how it was holding you in an energy that you didn't want to because of your fears. Speed up and retreat. Okay, guys. Hold your energy. Yeah. Surrender faster. The sooner you give in to these pushes of the universe, the easier it is going to be for you to transmute this energy. Blend and divine feminine. Okay, yeah, they're saying there's aspects, both sides of Taurus, that are important right now. Yeah, there's a certain healthy amount of stick in the mud energy where you hold on to your good feminine nature to be able to create. And there's also too much nurturing energy, because if you end up overgiving, well, it's not serving you anymore. That's emptying your cup where that's unnecessary. So they're saying that there is some temperance to do with your feminine energy right now, because you are meant to be a master creator. And there's just a few little tweaks that need to be carried out. Manipulate and crucible. Okay. So the crucible. I'm hearing that I'm seeing actually if any of you guys know the story, The Crucible, about the Salem witch trials. And the whole illusion was that it was like well, I'm hearing first of all, misunderstanding the vessel. Thinking that because it doesn't change that it's witchcraft or it's magic. It's not. It's just a vessel. What's inside is what's important. Yeah. And that transformation is what's important. It's not what it looks like on the 3D. It's not. It's what's inside the crucible that's important. And focusing too much on the vessel is a manipulation to your own psyche. That's allowing your ego to manipulate you. But also I'm hearing that there are very, very, very skewed visions about. Yeah. It's like in the crucible, right? These women were, because they, pissed somebody off in the town, labeled as a witch and therefore burned at the fucking stake, or put on trial unfairly. It was a manipulated trial. It was a one-sided trial. Everybody knew what the outcome was going to be. It was just all for show. So I'm hearing that a lot of this was just a play. All of this was just there's a culmination coming to, you're starting to realize how much of all of this was just fluff. It was just an act. It was a ruse. It was a really good story, but it was just a ruse. Yeah. And you did end up being manipulated. Yeah, maybe some of you were manipulated by a person, a situation, a thing, or whatever. But you had to take your focus away from that vessel. There was some sort of manipulative nature with regards to the vessel itself if you didn't look at what was going on in the cup. I'm gonna get one more just to, I just dropped the manipulation card and they're saying don't get it, please. Okay, please, I'm hearing about trying to please other people. Okay, play a part and please, yeah. Yeah, you thought that you needed, in order to get acceptance and love, you thought that you needed to please everybody. So yeah, they're calling you back to some of you guys were way too liberal with giving your energy. Some of you were way too concerned about what other people thought of you. Some of you were basically your motivations for the things that you've done in the past were skewed because you were just doing it for show. It was all for show. Or maybe someone you're dealing with, it's all for show. But chances are, if you're dealing with someone that way, then there's a mirrored effect and there's something in you that is also doing this very same thing. So yeah, you need to see how you were manipulated by the situation around you. Yeah, you were manipulated by the situation around you, by the vessel for all of this, by the, I don't know, the group of people you spent time with, or the job that you had, or your family, or the circumstances of your surroundings, or whatever. You were thinking that all of this was trying to manipulate you, but it's not true. It's not true for some of you. Oh boy, this is really heavy energy. I'm be honest, I can't see it clearly. I can't get it. Gifted, fertility, creativity, growth in space. Okay, they're saying don't worry about it, basically. Stop worrying about the details of all of this. The important part now is that you come back into yourself and you understand that the fertility of things is what's important. That 3 energy, the Empress, Taurian energy, they want you to come into your fertile place of becoming the master creator. And don't worry so much about these details, okay? Don't worry so much about these details. Just like you can throw anything into a crucible and not worry that the cup is going to crack. Anything that's going on, you're the vessel, you are the cup. You're gonna be able to deal with whatever is coming to you, and they're calling you to your creative nature in order to work that out. Sorry if that was super confusing. I'll be honest, these energies are super intense, and even I'm struggling to grasp them all. It's like, it feels like being under fire. Honestly, this whole live I've been feeling like it's like everybody's individual situation is begging for individual attention, but there's just so much going on. There's so much going on. It's hard to put my finger on any one energy, and this is a general reading, right? And you guys do need personal advice. If my books are open, you can contact me, no problem. And I do offer readings. I have a link tree link in the bio here, and it brings you to all of my stuff. So I've got my Instagram where I do my lives. I've got there's a link to PayPal. There's a link to my Etsy page. There's my email address. So reach out if you need some further advice, if this is eating you up, and you need a little bit more. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you later today live. Good luck with this full moon energy. If you need to sleep, go to sleep. All right. Okay, my dears. I'm so sorry for anything you're going through if I've made you feel a certain way. Thank you for being a beautiful being and lending your energy to this circuit that I hold so dear. Thank you to your guides, my guides, the ascended masters, angels, and whatever other entities or energies have been involved in getting us these clear, concise messages for our greatest good in a timeless matter, whether it be today, tomorrow, or in the near or distant future. If we're finding these messages, they are meant for us, and there's something in here. I love you to the moon and the stars and to infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too. But if not, don't sweat it. Catch you next time. Bye.